Hey, beautiful people, I'm back. This is our first book review for Feminista Jones, Reclaiming Our Space. How Black feminists are changing the world from the tweets to the streets. I read the first 3 chapters of this. I am really feeling this. I love it. She is a Philadelphia-based social worker, feminist writer, public speaker, and community activist. Feminista Jones was named one of the 100 most influential people in Philadelphia and one of the top 100 Black social influencers by The Root. Her writing has been featured in the New York Times, Washington Post, Time, Essence, and Ebony. So my queen has been doing big things, okay? And this book is copyrighted in 2019. So this is a very recent book. It's very recent, relevant to date, examples, women references, literary references, and point of views. This is not out of date or anything like that. This is very up to date. This is very accurate about the Black woman experience. I'm just going to get right into it. So she uses quotes at the top, and I love the quote she uses. And I'm going to start with the dedication page, because when I read it, I was like, oh, this is the book for me, y'all. As soon as I get to the dedication page, it says, dedicated to every Black girl around the world. Freedom is coming. That's where we at. And that's the tone. That's the tone we setting for this. And so she starts the first chapter, the introduction is called It All Started When. And she has a tweet by @Cuba_Brown. And it says, the weapon called feminism, ... was a tool used to destroy the Black family and put Black men in prison. And then underneath we have a nice quote by the Queen Bee, Lil' Kim, no other. I think the people who have problems with me are the ones who can't accept the realness of life. And if you can't accept that, then you haven't gone through what I've gone through. And if you haven't gone through it, then you can't judge me. If you don't know where I've been, then you don't know who I am. Real shit. For those who are following my Metu Netter book club that I have with my my son Ezekiel, it talks about how you will never understand the acts of one if you don't understand the conditions that one is under. It just doesn't work that way. You can't learn about civilizations if you don't learn about the people and why they did the things they did and built things the way they built. You will never be able to resonate with the Black woman unless you are understanding the different things that the Black women are under. And this is one issue that a lot of people cannot grasp. I've had some amazing and some very heartbreaking conversations this morning about feminism and women empowerment and what that means about the Black community. And I think Black men have a lot of things disheveled about what the Black woman experience is and what the Black woman's intentions are with the Black men. Now, am I speaking for all Black women? No. Some of us have been hurt so bad and so much and have, tumbled into our darkness and our pain so much that we're stuck there. And those Black women, I know it's hard for some people to do. Some people can't grasp the concept, but those Black women are the ones that need love the most. My girlfriends are very mean. Some of them we're not friends anymore. But I have a couple girlfriends, they are mean. They are quick with it, the quick tongue, everything. Ooh, like a Black man in their presence, ooh, I know this. And I love them so much because once you get past that hard exterior, you see the vulnerability and the pain and all the judgment she's overcome, over all the abuse, all the sexual abuse, the sexual assault, the sexual manipulation. I can't talk because I'm getting excited. All the sexual manipulation that we have endured since we were younger. I had an awesome conversation on Facebook and with this man, and he was saying that there was a joke that I believe it was Chris Rock said that why men are so hung up on sex and women are not is because women have been getting approached since they were 12. So by the time we're 20 and 30, you're like, nah, nigga, get the fuck out of my face. And this is true. I come from a long lineage of women who had children in high school, who were introduced with sex at a young age. I myself personally, I was molested when I was younger. I have been raped. I have been sexually assaulted. I have been all those things. I have been mentally, emotionally, and physically abused by Black men. I have I've had all those things done to me. Does that change how I feel about black men? No. I love black men. I love the black men in my family. I love my dad. I have one dad and I have two stepdads, and I love all three of them. I have two black boys in my life. I love them. Those are my sons. Those are my everything, and they love me like no other. And I have a wonderful black king in my life who looks at all my pain and all the things I've gone through and all the things I've been through and all the things that he's put me through too. And he sees me, he sees my pain, and he helps me heal. We help each other heal. And it's beautiful, and I feel like everyone should be able to do that. So let's move on with this book. We introduced the idea that the black men have the black feminism movement misconstrued. Black men think that this movement is to dismantle the black family and to put down the black man, and that is not what this is. Now, I'm not speaking for all black women. Some black women are messed up. Some black women are using the black feminism movement to get whatever revenge on that one dude that did that one thing that one time. That's not the culture that I'm representing right now when I say my words. So for those who want to come at me with the crazy rebuttals about those crazy women that they and their crazy baby moms and their crazy sisters, we should have that conversation and we should have that dialogue. And those kind of women should have their platform because they should be able to tell their story. Because though that anger and that stuff that they give out into the world that turns the black man off, that is a reflection of the energy that has been given to her. So if you want that energy that she is giving off in the world to change, then you need to change the energy that you are giving to her. That dismissive shit like, oh, she's ratchet, oh, she's nasty, or she's not a holy woman, or she don't need that. You know what she needs? She needs somebody to pat her on the back and give her that unconditional, persistent, consistent love. Despite how many times she overreacts, despite how many times she get quick with her tongue, despite how many times she's angry and she's cursing and da-da-da-da, she needs that unconditional love. That's what those women need. Because obviously that's not what they have been getting. A mouthful. I'm very excited about this. I'm very excited about this. I have wonderful black women in my life. So when I read this book, I kind of went through a spiral because I never really got into black feminism. I'm here for the black movement. But I never spiraled into black feminism because when I think of feminism, I think of white women with hot pink armpits and locks and they work at Trader Joe's. I think of that, and they make that punk music saying we hate penises. Like, that's what I think of. And this book addresses that and addresses the fact that every time the black woman tries to exceed, the white woman comes up and says me too. And that's why black feminism is a movement of itself. We are not in conjunction with the white feminism movement, and nor will we ever be. We do not have the same goals. We do not have the same experiences. We do not speak for one another. It's not what happens. Now, sisterhood is always going to occur because that's who the black woman is. We love everyone. We have given birth to everyone. So of course we accept everyone. That is not to say that, oh, we don't care about the shit that white women's going through. No, that's not to say that. It's to say that black women, we have tried to work with the white woman in the white feminist movement, but what happened was black women got ignored and pushed to the side. And while white women became the face of things, like the Me Too movement is a perfect example. I thought that a white woman started that. I thought that was a white woman thing. I did not know that a black woman started the hashtag Me Too movement. I didn't know that. I didn't see too many black women in that narrative. And you know what's funny and disheartening and all those other things is like sexual assault, sexual abuse, molestation, incest, sexual manipulation, physical abuse and all that stuff. That is very prominent in the black community. But you know what happens? Black women don't like to tell on the black man because we know that the system is even harder on them than we could ever be. So we protect our black men and we don't send them to the police. We don't say anything. I didn't say anything about my abusers. And I have abusers with an S. There's a few men out there that, they probably don't even care anymore. But I harbor that pain on my own. And I didn't say anything because I didn't want there to be a thing. I didn't want to have to defend myself. I didn't want to, I was dealing with the shame of it all, because society shames these sexual abuse victims because, of course, we always ask for it. Oh, we were promiscuous. Oh, she was a prostitute, so of course she's going to get raped. Oh, that's your husband? You deserve to get raped. You shouldn't have told him no. Oh, you want to walk around with them shorts on, that skirt, that dress on? Oh, yeah, you should have got it taken from you. That's the narrative that we face. It's tiring. It's taxing. And then you want us to deal with that and deal with suppressing our experience, but then we have to turn around and be like, yeah, we're here for the Black Lives Movement. We're here for the, this movement and that movement and this movement, for the Black unit and the Black family and the Holy Trinity of the Black mother, the Black father, and the Black child. And that's great. But we can't be a part of that Holy Trinity if we ain't healed. All we gonna do is be toxic. Just like the Black man can't be a part of that Holy Trinity if he ain't healed. All he gonna be is toxic. In the book that I read, Metu Netter, what they talk about is you have to go inward. I have to go inward as me. As Unica Monet, I have to go inward as my individual. Then I have to turn around and go inward with a community of women. And we all have to go inward and fix our shit in our community. We're always competing for the attention of men, but we don't compete for anything else. We don't compliment one another. We don't stick up for one another. And this is changing, and I love the fact that this is changing, and we're going to move on to, that part. And it's exciting that the change is happening, and I'm happy for my sisters. I celebrate my sisters. I love them so much. But anyway, we got to change that narrative. We have to learn how to love each other so that we can learn how to love men. If I love my sisters and I ain't worried about my sisters and I'm not competing with my sisters for no man, that man can do whatever he want. No. I am a better unit for this Holy Trinity if I got my individual circles together, as a light-skinned woman, as a Geechee woman, as a mixed culture woman that's trying to find her culture, as so many things that I have to learn to be as me before I can come to this Holy Trinity and say, oh, I got all my circles intact. I'm ready to be this whole circle for you. People don't realize that interdependency, it requires two independent people, not one dependent and one independent, not two dependent people. No, two independent people need to come together to create interdependency. So if I am not an independent woman, I cannot come to this man. And if he is not an independent man, he cannot come to me, and we cannot create a great interdependency with each other because we are not wholes. It's always going to be something that I'm lacking because I'm not a whole. It's always going to be something that he's lacking because he's not a whole. That interdependency don't work because we both lacking stuff that we need. And that's when the going outward, the cheating. Now I need multiple things. Now I'm trying to get my pleasures and stuff like that because I'm not whole. We got to change that. We got to change that narrative. We definitely do. And I'm excited for it. I hope that the guys that I had a conversation with on Facebook earlier reach back to me, because I would love to do a vlog with them and have, conversation, and maybe do it on a Facebook Live or something where we could really sit down and have this talk about the Black man and the Black woman experience. If we don't get to do it that way, I know my sister and my brother-in-law are coming for the weekend. I'll probably make them do that shit with me, with me and my partner. I think that'll be fun. I think it's necessary. I think that healing is necessary. That be unapologetic about our shit, and we need our men to be unapologetic about their shit. And because we're not, it's creating a lot of issues. It's creating a lot of issues. And we know this. We don't want to admit to it, because that means that we have to look in the mirror and look at our faults. And we thought we was so perfect. I'm perfect. I know about crystals. I know about herbs. I know about the Black history. I know about my family lineage. I talk to my family. I love everybody. I'm perfect. No, I'm not. I learn every day. You don't stop learning till you die. So once you start talking about you perfect and you ain't this and you ain't that and you ain't this, and you discrediting other people's experiences because that ain't you ain't perfect. You ain't perfect. And the fact that you can sit there and discredit somebody else's experience because it don't apply to you just goes to show that you ain't ready. You're not ready. You're not ready. I could not be a good independent woman, for my black man, for our interdependency, if I was denying the black man's experience because it doesn't happen to me, because I'm not that kind of black woman. I couldn't do that. I couldn't sit here and have great conversation and emotionally and mentally support my man and the things that he goes through as a black man if I'm constantly denying black man's experience because I'm not the woman that did it. That's trash. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. That's not love. Anyway, moving on. So, this woman in particular was accused of being a CIA agent because it's the idea that black feminism is it coexists with, you know, the government's scheme to break down the black family, and that is not the case. We are separated by the black movement because, like I said before, the black patriarchy. Especially when I go on Facebook, I had to clean house, man. You go on Facebook and you see these, you know, these conscious men, and they're intelligent men. They're intelligent, beautiful men, and their intentions are good. I know their intentions are good, and I know they don't mean harm, but they are harmful. They are harmful at how they address the black woman. They come with expectations. She should dress like this. She should act like this. She should talk like this. She should carry her stuff like this. She gotta do this. And it's like, no, you don't get to do that. I watched, it was funny because I was at work and I don't really watch TV. I don't even watch TV at home like that anymore. I'm behind on so much shit that I used to love to watch. But when I'm at work, the TV is already on, so I just leave the TV on or whatever it is. And it just so happened in the morning when Sunday came, what's his name? Pastor Jennings? He came on. I'm like, oh, snap. My dad used to watch this dude all the time, so now I got to watch one of his videos. So I just randomly picked a video on YouTube, and I listened to it while I was driving home from work. And it was the video that he made when he went to Jamaica. And he was talking about how, you know, a black female pastor had banded together because he was talking about how, you know, a whore should not dress the same as, a modest woman should not dress the same as a whore. And he was, you know, using those kind of words and connotations when talking about the black woman. And that's trash. That is so trash. Regardless if you agree with a black woman's thoughts, the way she carries herself, the way she dresses, the way she chooses to wear her hair, if she wears makeup or not, if she gets her titties done, her ass done or nothing, you have no right to put a derogatory name or title on a black woman and her choices for herself. Unconditional love is everything. You will be surprised how far love goes. I have plenty of women in my life. When I first met them and I was first on my journey, I was like, why are you still eating like this? Why are you doing this? Don't do that. Da, da, da. And by me yelling and coming at them like that, they were like, bitch, I'm not about to hang out with you no more. Every time you hang out with me, I feel like I'm being judged, like you think you better than me. And that wasn't my intentions. My intentions was, I just learned this shit and I'm mad excited about it. And I love you and I care about you and I want you to do that too. And that's the vibe I get from the black men in these movements. They're excited and they just learned and they just read this shit and they just don't know how else to word it but to yell and chastise, because that's how we've been taught to treat and talk to each other. It's not effective. If anything, it pushes people away and not want to listen to you and not want to be around you and not want to look at more of your videos and not want to read more of your status, do any of those things, because you're not even coming with love. Love is the cure for everything. Love cures all. I'm telling you, man, this love, this love is everything, y'all. And I'm telling you, y'all better get y'all some and y'all better give it up. Give it up. You are stingy if you holding that love in. You are stingy if you live in the hood and you see all these baby moms and they struggling with their kids and you haven't created a community organization or after school program or nothing to help these single women, but you want to sit on Facebook and talk about being polyamorous. Why we gotta be your bedmates for you to help us? Why we gotta be sister wives and marry you for you to love us? Why we gotta be baby moms and hoes and whores and prostitutes and we're not virtuous women and stuff like that because we done been through some shit and now we got kids that we raising by ourselves and y'all look the other way because, oh, I don't want no woman with no outside kid, but I want 3 wives. What the fuck? No. And we as women, we need to hold ourselves accountable for the images that we want to have. I know women, we're flavors. We're snowflakes. Everyone is its own flavor. I'm telling you. we might all have the same like basic functions and, you know, those general funny stereotypes about a black woman's attitude and our vibration stuff. You can't touch this shit, bro. You can't put this shit in a bottle, you know. And they try, and that's okay. You keep trying, but you ain't never gonna put this shit in a bottle, baby. And we know these things, so you can't really, you know, try to uniform women. You got to learn how to love us for who we are and learn how to harness the things that we have to make us better. Lil' Kim is a great example. Cardi B is a great example. Nicki Minaj are great examples. Those are the women that everybody, don't be like them, nigga, eye shots. They wear makeup, they wear their hair blonde, they're sexual women, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, they're sexual women, but guess what? They love. They love black men. They support black men. They donate to the black community. They're building houses. They're giving out scholarships. They're love. So instead of judging them for their flavor, acknowledge that love and return that love, because that's what you're supposed to do. That's what you're supposed to do. All the other shit is irrelevant. Why are you worried about how I carry myself for me if I'm out here loving? You better mind your motherfucking business. You worry about the wrong shit. Anyway, move forward. So yeah, that's why the black women are separated from, you know, the black movement. When you think about it, think about police brutality. This was the example that was given in the book. You think about police brutality. When you think about it, and you name the people that have been shot by cops, you can count off all the black men that were shot off by cops. You count it. It's everywhere. Name how many black women you know that have been shot by cops. Sandra Bland. Can you go further than that? Maybe 2 or 3 more? Maybe 4 more? I'm going to hold myself accountable. I couldn't. I'm going to hold myself accountable. I could not. And I didn't think nothing of it. That's the thing. I didn't feel that woman empowerment, and I didn't think nothing of it. I just think police brutality, and I think of my sons, and I think of my father, and I think of my king, who was a victim of police assault for no reason. He was walking across the street on Thanksgiving, and a cop pulled up with his gun out the car and beat him up. What? I fear those things. I'm scared. But I don't think about black women as much as I think about the black man when I think about that police fear. And that's not real. And then when you watch these videos of these women being manhandled by these police officers and slammed to the ground, and, you know, a pregnant woman was pushed by a mall cop and all this stuff, you look at the comments and they're always blaming the woman like she shouldn't have been sassy like that. That's who we are. Get the fuck over it. That's who we are. You get in my face, you get in my space, I feel like you disrespected me. Don't put your hands on me. I don't give a fuck what your job title is. Listen, I got 2 responses. That's flight or fight. But my family fighters, so that's what the fuck's gonna happen. You know, if I gotta take that bullet, that's what it is. I'm at a different space in my mind, bro. I don't fear death, and I've built up my kings. You know, we accept things for what it is. It is what it is. We gotta stop taking this shit. But that's a united front, and that's another conversation for another day and another book. But moving forward, that is why we don't feel included in the black, you know, family, black lives and everything, because we are ridiculed the most. We are put down the most. We are disrespected the most. We are blamed the most for the dismantling of the black family, the incarceration of the black man, the welfare program, all that stuff. We're blamed for that. All that shit is our fault. We did all that. Black men don't do nothing but just exist, and shit happens to them. And then, you know, when it comes to police brutality or black on black crime, when you think of black on black crime, you think of about a black guy shooting a black guy. But what about women? What about women? Women are being shot by other women. Women are being shot by men. Women are being sexually, mentally, emotionally abused by men. This is happening. But it's always ignored and swept under the rug when she's a black woman. And I know it's happening to other women of other color. That's not what this topic is about. This is about the black feminist movement. So if you're looking for something that's more integrative, you can follow my other book club, which is called Girl Stop Apologizing by Rachel Hollis. I loved that book, and that was written by a white woman, and she was giving women wonderful tips about following their goals and everything. And I enjoyed that book just as much as I'm enjoying this one. I resonate with this one a little bit more because I am a black woman and my experience is different from a white woman's. And I'm tired of having to defend that. My experience is different than a black man's and I'm tired of having to defend that. And it's not just white, it's other races. You have your Middle Eastern women and I cry for them. But my experience is not their experience. And while I fight for them because we are sisters and the sisterhood is everything, as a black woman, my experience, I gotta fight for black women too. We got multiple circles we have to fulfill to be an independent person so we can get that interdependency with the Holy Trinity, with the Mother, the Father, and the child. This is a building process. Let us build ourselves without you being offended and being defensive and being disrespectful. Can that happen? Can we do that? Obviously we cannot, because over history, over time, every time the black feminist tries to come up in the world, it's always an issue. It's always, oh, what about us? We want to be included. White women go through things too. You shouldn't separate yourselves from us. Okay, come on. And then you guys just take over. It becomes a white face of things. There's been so many examples given in the book. So many good examples. One of the best examples that she gave was the fact that when things go wrong with the white man, white women, they stick to their man. The re-election of Bush, the election of Trump, when Black Lives Matter happened, then all of a sudden Blue Lives Matter happened, and then all white lives matter happened. I see more white women feminists vouching for all lives matter and Blue Lives Matter more than the Black Lives Matter. They don't even want to. If you can't look at Black Lives Matter, if you can't look at the Black Panther Party, if you can't look at Assata Shakur and Alicia and Alice Walker and Sojourner Truth and Harriet Tubman and all these other women and Amy Garvey, if you can't look at these black women and say, hey, I understand why you have a Black Lives Movement. I understand. I understand why y'all standing up against cops. I understand why Kaepernick did what he did. I understand those things as another woman from another culture who wants to be a part of the feminist. If you can't do those things, then you need to let us have our own black feminist movement. Because you obviously don't want to understand, you don't want to resonate, and you want to be defensive. And like I said before, when things go awry, they go back to their white man. And the white man is the one that oppresses us the most. So, this is why we can't be grouped with that regular feminist movement, and this is why we can't fully be grouped with the Black Lives and Black Family movement, because we need to build ourselves as a black sisterhood. And then also when things happen to women of color, white women are silent. I don't see them doing too much for women of color, specifically women of color. To say, I'm a white woman and I'm a feminist and I know that I have way more privilege than every other woman of color in the world. Let me look at this Middle Eastern woman and let me help that. Let me look at this Asian woman. Let me look at this Pacific Islander woman and look at the woes that she carries, because not only does she carry herself, she carries her family unit. White women make the house go. If our house ain't right, if our man is going through the things, then our house ain't right, and we're carrying that. We're carrying that. Just like our black man, but we are carrying that. When the black man go to jail, who's watching the children? When the black man is, being harassed, who is watching the children? That's us. We keep the house going despite what our black men are going through. You know what I mean? So as, white feminists, when you look at that and you look at all these cultures of color, and you can still sit there and say, oh, it's just about the white experience. You can have a panel about feminism and have 10 women up there and 9 of them be white, and that's okay with you. You can have a convention about feminism and 95% of them be white women, and that resonates with you. You feel comfortable. You feel like that was a successful meeting. No, it was not. It wasn't. Do better, because we do all have to come together, because regardless if you white or you're a woman of color, it's still that sisterhood. But again, we're not there yet. They have to do their thing on their own, so let us do our thing on our own without judging us. And our image and what we stand for and what we do is totally different. I had a conversation with a Jewish guy. He comes over a lot. Super cool dude. And he was talking about how he felt about the feminist movement and things like that. And I like the people that I meet out here in Virginia, especially the white people that I meet, because they're very unapologetic about the things that they think, and even like especially the ones that are able to go outside of themselves and see like, oh, I see where the indoctrination was in my education as a white person. I see where that shit is fucked up at. And they're able to sit down with someone that's different from them and have that conversation. I have a lot of those conversations like that out here, and I appreciate that. But, you know, he said the same thing about the feminist movement. He didn't know, first of all, he didn't know that, you know, black feminists had their own movement. He was only introduced to the, you know, white feminists, and for that reason, that's why he was so against it, because to him, their feminism was not about equality. It was about the destruction of man. We're not going for that. Black feminism, we don't want to destroy black men. We need black men. We want our black men to get out of jail. We want our black men to come home, because we need help with our sons. Who's going to teach them how to be a man? Not us. You know, we have some black women who are delusional and tell themselves Happy Father's Day and all that stuff. That's what's up. No. Real life, feminine energy is feminine energy, and masculine energy is masculine energy. You can't imitate. You can't imitate my essence. Just like I can't imitate a man's essence. It doesn't matter how many surgeries and pills or whatever you want to do. You can't imitate that shit. You're always going to kind of know. It's always going to be something like, you're always going to see that. You're always going to feel something in their space. Like, that's what it is. You know what I mean? So, like, when a black woman wins, when the black feminist movement wins, we all win. Because black women include us all. We include the black man in our journey. We include the women of color overseas and in the islands and in South America. And we include the white women in our journey. We are the movement that includes every other movement in our journey. There is no one more supportive of the LGBTQ community than the black woman. And we are constantly ridiculed for how we support every fucking movement. But nobody wants to support our fucking movement. And that's trash. That's trash. We gotta do better. Moving on. The book goes on to talk about the black woman renaissance back then in the 20s, and then now in the present, and how, you know, we had music and art and film and all that, and poetry and blues and all that great stuff back then. And now we have all the same thing, but we have a new addition to the mix, which is now social media. And I didn't realize that so much stuff was innovated by the black woman like this. And I've only read the first 3 chapters. That's it. That's all I read was the first 3 chapters. The first, like, 50-something page of the book. Like, it's crazy. You know, we've started our own hashtags. We started being unapologetic with our teachings. You know, it's so crazy, like, when a black woman does... First of all, it was a black woman that started, like, the thread thing. Like, replying to herself in the thread. And then... what it was called was a rant. Like, when a black woman does it, it's called a rant. She's angry and bitter and stuff like that. But then when, you know, someone else does it, it's a informational piece on culture. That is an example that's given in the book. We've also used this platform for healthy debates for our videos and stuff like that. And I love the fact that we use this platform for that. I follow so many YouTube pages and Instagram pages and Facebook pages and Twitter pages of black men and women and black families coming together and using their platform for information, for education, for healing. Because it's necessary. And that when, you know, this internet thing first started coming out, and she used the example of, like, the chat rooms and stuff and broke the chat rooms down and stuff, I'm like, oh my god, I remember all that shit. But, like, when that shit first came out, I was like, yo, that is so dope. The first thing in my mind was unity. That was the first thing in my mind. Like, yo, we finally united. I can go talk to people in Africa, and I can ask them how the culture is and what kind of job should I get and what areas I can make friends before I go to another country. I can make friends before I visit. I can do like, that was just so exciting to me. I never thought that it would be used as such. Well, you know, of course, yeah, but like, that wasn't my main thought. My main thought was like, oh man, this is going to be like, this is dope. And that's what we have been using it for. We also have used it to display the violent acts that have been placed upon us throughout history. All these police shootings and police brutality and all that stuff, that shit ain't new. That shit has never stopped happening. It didn't just start happening because Trump. It didn't just start happening because Obama. That is shit that has always been happening. But now we have black people who are pioneers have come and said, oh, we got this tool. And they thought how I thought, unity. And they thought, hey, we about to start recording when they do stuff to us so that we have proof in court. Because they always make sure they have proof in court when they're trying to do stuff to us. What better proof than a picture or a video? It gets no better than that. So we started using it, and then suddenly it's like, why is all this suddenly happening? No, it's not suddenly happening. It has been happening. But now we finally have a proof that is happening, because for so long people kept trying to discredit us and tell us. And you know what's so crazy? That even with all of these visuals, we are still being discredited as crybabies and living in the past and da-da-da, as if this stuff is not happening every day, all day long. It's created a mentality within us to where we accept it, and to where we are afraid of the police. We don't want to be pulled over. We don't want to live in the hood because of the police. It has nothing to do. Of course, I want to live with my family and shit. I don't want to deal with the fucking cops that's always riding around, waiting to pull me over, waiting to bother me, waiting to bother my kids, waiting to bother my man. Like, I don't want to live like that. Nobody wants to live like that. And it creates a mentality about the police. It's a distrust there because there is a fear there. And that fear is turning into frustration and aggravation and agitation. And instead of looking at the Black Lives Movement saying, dang, that shit been happening to y'all since y'all came to this country. And it's 2019 and it's still happening. And everybody around you that's supposed to be helping you, the government and stuff, is being quiet about it for elections. That's crazy. Y'all don't do that. Y'all tell us all the different scenarios of how it's our fault for being frustrated, for having PTSD, for having genetic PTSD from our ancestors for dealing with this shit for their entire 90-something years of living. Yeah, stop doing that. But that's why we have social media, because we're not going to be quiet. And it's getting even bigger. Like, ever since I started this vlog, I guess I just started attracting other women who are doing the same thing. So now I see other women and black men making videos about, you know, their crystals, about, you know, the universe, about the books they're reading and stuff like that. And I love it. I love it. I'm listening to it now. I kind of stopped listening to like mainstream music, and now I just listen to their videos and I listen to them talk and I listen to their ideas, and I just love it. I am in love with this, and I want it to keep going. And I'm letting y'all know it's not going to stop. Whether I want it to or not, it's not going to stop. So, moving on with book. Where am I going with this? Oh, yeah. She gave a really good analogy about how the chat room. Okay, so the way that black people communicate is called call and response. So when I say something, you bounce off what I'm saying. Like, that's our frequency. This. That should look dope, don't? Like, but that's how we move. Like this. So I send you a message in the chat room. You send me a message back. I piggyback with that. And that's what Twitter has done for us. That's what Instagram has allowed to be done for us. It's that call and response type of communication. And this is, she goes on to say how, like, the different things that they keep coming up with is because we keep introducing those things. Excuse me. I want to say it was a black person. I can't say, I don't recall if it's a woman or a man that started the first stream. Like, you know, watching stuff with other people. Everybody turned on Coming to America and they watched it at the same time and everybody's tweeting it. And that's what started it. And then Scandal with Shonda Rhimes, The Goddess happened, and Kerry Washington communicated with the people during the streaming, and that was the first time for that to happen. And now look, every time a show comes on, that's what's happening. And because a black person started that, now TV shows, their views have raised to 64%. Come on now, like, come on now, we lit. And then moving forward, a lot of the complaints that is arising with the social media movement is the fact that, you know, it's not just white people. I see it by other people too. But it was just like the fact that people are doing blackface on their social media pages. Like, if you search a GIF and you put like sassy response, it's always a black woman, or bitter or angry. It's a black woman. And I believe that to be true, because whenever I go on Google, especially when I go to look up locks or lock styles, it's always a whole bunch of white people first. But anyway, moving on. Like, people were complaining that it was blackface. It's blackface for, a white person who would never talk to anybody like that in real life in their face, utilize their avatar online to talk like a black person to be seen as cool, and to try to convince black people that imitation is a form of flattery, that we should accept it, that we're being racist or discriminatory, or we're whatever, to say that we are those things because we're not comfortable with those things and we don't like that is ridiculous. And that is the argument of the culture vulture. That is the argument of the gentrifier. We should allow our things to be gentrified and be watered down to the point where you didn't even know that black people invented it or started it or organized it or innovated it. Now you just see a white face on it and it is what it is. And that stands true to a lot of music genres that black people started, because we move like this. So of course we can make music. As long as we can move like this and our frequencies are like this, of course we can make music. Who else is moving like this, y'all? Who moves at that frequency, at that steady wavelength? But, as soon as we put something out there with our wavelength on it, other races come and eat it up, and now it's their face and it don't belong to us, and we supposed to be cool and quiet, and those who are not are usually silenced in various ways. And it's gotten to the point where a lot of people are actually like that. Especially, I hate the fact that the people on our platforms are so welcoming of this gentrification of our arts. It's trash. Stop promoting that shit. Post Malone is trash. And that's my rant for the moment. But I hate that. I hate it so much. I applaud Charlemagne for using his platform to acknowledge the fact that gentrification of music is trash. It is trash. And then you don't even respect the people that you're taking the culture from. You don't fight for black lives. You don't, when things happen to black people, where the fuck are you at? Where the fuck is Eminem? Black people getting shot in the street. Where you at? Oh, you made a verse about Trump? That's cool. I spent my whole child listening to you. I need you to do a little bit better. You know what I'm saying? But, we accept that and we make excuses for that. That's not his problem, and it's not really our problem either. We make it happen. We do it to ourselves. Ugh. Nah, fuck that. So stop gentrifying our gifts. Stop gentrifying our emojis. Stop talking like a black person to be cool on the internet. It's not cool. It's not okay. We don't like it. It's not flattery. We like to have our culture. Every other race has their culture, and people dibble in it. Of course, people dibble in other people's cultures, but they're not like, oh, it's mine now and it has my face on it and you must be okay. And these aren't cornrows. These are braid backs. And because it's on this white woman now, you have to be okay with it and understand that black people didn't invent braids. So, da-da-da-da-da. Well, you know what? We did invent braids. But over history and time, we may not have been the only people with it, but stop denying the fact that this is us. Stop trying to erase us out of the shit that we create. That's the problem. It's not that you guys we don't have a problem with you doing things with us, but when you guys try to erase our existence within something, then we have a fucking problem. I personally have a fucking problem, and I have lots of fucking problems. I need that one not to be one of them anymore. You know what I mean? Moving forward. The myth of white allies. I love this. And you know what? I never really thought about it like that. I do have girlfriends of all races. I have male friends of all races. I love everybody. I have no problem with saying that I love everybody. I talk to everybody. I don't discriminate with my time and my energy or my love, because love is the answer to everything. I believe in that wholeheartedly. But like I say, I'm a woman first and I'm a black woman first. Two of those things first at the same damn time. So, when it come down to it, if we ever got into a war, y'all know which side I'm on, okay? Anyway, so the myth of white allies is on page 43 in the book, and I wrote the page because I wanted to read it, because I didn't want to use it in my own words and it not come across as well as it came across in this book. Down here, she says, written in August of 2015, It is still widely shared and has even been taught in high school and college courses, referenced in articles and cited in presentations and panels about allyship, movements, and more. My thesis asserts that, by definition, allies, when used in this realm, as most people use the term, cannot exist, because alliances are formed to the mutual benefit of the joining parties. Since there is no mutual benefit for oppressors and privileged people, when the oppressed are liberated, there can be no such alliance. Thus, no allies. So, the people who benefit from your oppression cannot become your allies. And I had told the people this time and time again, ever since I read that piece from Metunetter. If you guys are following my any of my pages, please go back and read my book reviews with my child, that you cannot use the tool of the oppressor to defeat the oppressor. It doesn't make sense. Just like you can't go to the oppressor and be like, oh, you're my friend now, and now we are moving forward hand in hand, because that oppressor is an oppressor for a reason. He benefits off that oppression. So what in his mind will be like, oh yeah, I want to stop oppressing you because I want to be your equal. And that is a conversation that I had with a white coworker with mine, a white male, and I forgot where it stemmed from. We were watching CNN. It was me, him, and this lady I work with. Her name is Cindy, and she's Jamaican. And we were talking, and he was like, I'm gonna tell y'all something right now. I'm a white man. I'm gonna keep it 100. We don't want equality. We like to be up here, and we like everyone else to be down here, because as long as we're up here, we are untouchable. Even though biologically, we're inferior, we acknowledge all our inferiorities. So as long as we're up here socially, we have better access to traveling and housing and healthcare and food and stuff, we will always be above y'all. And I'm just like, I appreciate your honesty, but fuck, you're mad honest. And he's just like, he's like, I don't mean to think that way, but that's just what is instilled to me. When people around me talk about equality, it kind of just like, it's like a pincushion in your chest, kind of. I forget the word that he used, but that's kind of like the feeling I got. That red button when a women know that one thing that somebody say to you, you just like see black or red or whatever, and you're like, oh hell no. That's how they feel when we start talking about equality. They don't want us to be equal because they like the oppression. It makes them feel better. Us being equal makes them feel like they down here. And that's the reality of the situation. So how can you join hands with people like that? Even the nice ones. How can you join hands with people? Because this guy is so nice and kind, and we talk all the time, and we have great conversation. We tell great jokes, and we share movies and stuff like that. Like, we have great social interaction. How can you look at that person and be like, oh, you my ally? No, we're not allies. Because even though we can have this great social interaction and we can share this love, you still don't want to see my freedom. And going back to the conversation I had with the Jewish guy, he was saying how somebody had told him, his family had owned land and they had slaves or whatever, and the slaves, they were nice to their slaves. And so, when freedom came or whatever, they allowed the slaves to stay on the land, and they got a piece of the land, and they kind of just lived together. And still to this day, they live on the land with the descendants of that enslaved family, and they're living there. And I'm like, no, that's generational conditioning. That's generational conditioning. There is no such thing as a nice way of picking someone up from their whole country, culture, and everything else, bringing them to another country, and in the midst of that, they're enduring sicknesses, watching their families being killed and thrown in the ocean and everything during this whole boat ride. Just mad shit is happening on this boat. Y'all ignoring the boat ride and everything that happened on that shit. And then they come to this country and they're told that it's unlawful for them to integrate. It's unlawful for them to talk in public. They can't speak their own language. They can't sing their songs. They can't wear their hair the way they want to. They can't wear their clothes. They can't wear their garments. They can't do anything that they know for themselves culturally. The women have to be even more oppressed than the men, because in that society, women were treated the way they should have been treated. Black women are the closest thing to God, and that was known. But that had to be immediately shut down because the white man had to keep the white woman in line. So, oh no, we really got to shut shit down. So now, after 2 or 3 generations, you got to understand that some of these babies are being raised up into this, and the parents are so fearful and traumatized, they're teaching their child how to be a good slave and be good to these white people and be nice to these white people and act like this and talk like this. We're doing it to our kids now. I have to have conversations with my son about how to act when they outside. I have to have a conversation with my son about how to act with the police. Now I have to have real conversations about how to act with my son in school when people are messing with him and picking on him, because they involve the police in schools now and they're arresting these little babies out of school. 6-year-olds leaving the school in handcuffs for having a temper tantrum. Shit like that is happening now. So, we're still doing that. We still training our babies to be the good slaves that they need to be safe. So to say that you were a good slaveholder and you had good slaves and y'all just was nice to each other, oh man, poor baby. That is trash. Moving forward. I had to correct him on that, but I did it nicely though, because we have a good conversation. And you know what? I love talking to people who just want to know and just want to learn. It's so important. I think that's the end of that as far as the first 3 chapters of the book. I know towards the end of the 3rd chapter, we start to go into representation of black girls on the internet, because like I said, we're snowflakes, so we are our own flavors. So now we have the introduction of the nerdy girls and black women that love horror and everything like that. And oh my god, okay, so when the movement for black women coming in flavors came out, I was not mad, but I was a little mad, because when I was younger, I had to grow into my lips. Okay, my face was way smaller and my lips were huge. I had to grow into these. I had to grow into, like, my butt used to sit weird and my back be like that. Like, I had to grow into those things. And then when I became a young adult, it was like, oh, being a nerd is cool. Wearing glasses is sexy. Being smart is cool. Like, do all of that. And it's like, damn, like, nigga, I've been put down to the point where I was putting myself down for hella long about these things that are now cool and sexy. And so at first I was kind of mad, because you know what? I think I was kind of mad because I think it was because in my mind I thought it was the man that was doing that. You know how I make this joke with my mate all the time, my partner all the time, because he talks about how, like, I can't make up my mind about shit, and I can't. He balances me where I lack. We're yin and yang. I love him, and we talk about the Wiz, and how in the Wiz when they were dancing, they were like, "You got to be seen and green," and then it was like, "Fuck that, the color's red." That's how I felt when this black nerd girl movement came out, because I thought that the black man, or whatever man, I thought a male perpetuated that. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, put me down for mad long and now you trying to build me up? Nah, I'm already down now. I'm mad insecure. I'm busting it wide open for mad niggas just so they can like me. This is trash. It's sad, and I can joke about it now because I'm not that person anymore, and I have not been that person for lots of years. But real shit, and a lot of black women go through that, and a lot of black women are made to feel ashamed for being promiscuous, but nobody tries to understand the story behind that promiscuity, and that's trash. We must do better with that. So Spirit told me while I was reading this that I needed to I wanted to address the hashtags, so that in your free time, if you want to, spiral into the hashtags, or if you want to start using the hashtags to be a part of these movements and show your support and your love, I just want to share these with you, okay? So I'm just going to read them off. We have hashtag Black Twitter. I love Black Twitter. Hashtag Solidarity is for white women, and that's going into detail about how, white women don't really speak for black women and don't really include black women in things, and that narrative that I had. We got the hashtag Me Too movement, the hashtag You OK Sis. I love this hashtag. Okay, when I was in high school, middle schoolish, like, you go to the corner stores and stuff, and always be like the drug dealers standing in front of the corner stores or the Chinese stores and stuff like that. This goes back to that Chris Rock joke that I said. Like, it was so frustrating walking past those group of men, because it was just like sometimes I would call my friends and be like, you want to walk with me to the store? Can you beat me there? Like, I just don't want to walk. Like, I hate walking past them niggas. Like, it's always going to be something out your mouth. It's like, hey, mom, hey, come here, let me talk to you. And then when you don't want to talk, then the aggression come out. And then, you know, and it irritates me that black men don't want to own up to this. But understand that after dealing with this from the time I'm 8, 9, 10 years old and my titties is popped and stuff like that, and now I'm 30 something years old, 40 something years old, nigga, I don't want to hear that shit, bro. You better get the fuck out my face. Better pay these bills, nigga. I shouldn't have to sleep with you for you to do that shit. So, you know, I love that hashtag, you okay sis, and that's what that's about. That's about, you know, you're a woman on the sidewalk and you see another woman being harassed in that way that a guy is trying to approach her and she's saying no and he's still not listening. You just go up and you say, are you okay sis? And, you know, that's us. We got to link with one another. We got to be there for one another. That's why I love my sisters that I had in college. It was like, we came together, we leave together, that's it. I don't give a fuck. You tell that nigga to go pick you up from our dorm room, but we all gonna make it to that motherfucking dorm room. I don't want to hear nothing. You know? And every now and then, one of us had to be the mom to curse all the other girls out because we wanted to be hoes. But it is what it is. Moving forward, because I'm telling too much of my business. Hashtag why I stayed. This is a wonderful hashtag. I hate the victim blaming of when a woman is in an abusive relationship and it's like, why are you in that relationship? Why do you stay? Da, da, da. Well, unfortunately, we have to explain ourselves and explain about mental conditioning as if there aren't multitude of examples of mental conditioning. The fact that people go to work every day and work 40 hours a week to live paycheck to paycheck and their paychecks don't even fucking meet. The fact that people will work 10 to 12 hours in a day and not see that paycheck for 2 weeks from then. Like, that is mental conditioning. That is, you know, and that shit ain't right. When you think about it in those terms, that shit ain't fucking right. So if you can, you know, accept those mental conditionings of slavery that's called at will employment, why can't you accept the fact that enslavement inside of the home occurs as well? Okay, well, let's explain ourselves. Fuck it. Hashtag why I stayed was created for that. Of course you have the hashtag Black Lives Matter and the hashtag BLM movement because that is essential for us. Then you have the hashtag M4BL, and that's the movement for Black Lives. It's necessary because Black lives do matter, and it's unfortunate that we have to explain that to people. That of course all lives fucking matter, but we're the ones being killed right now, and we need to let it be known that our lives matter too. Anyway, moving forward. Then you have the hashtag NMOS14, and this is the National Movement of Silence. And what this was a nationwide movement for the killing of Eric Garner. This was the silent protest. Hashtag say her name, because of the police brutality always had a black man's face to it and not a black woman's. So now, you know, we're saying our black women's names because you guys are going to remember them just as much as you remember Trayvon Martin and Eric Garner and Michael Brown and all those other countless names, because all those people matter. They all are our brothers and sisters, and they should be loved and treated and exalted equally. I love the fact that all this shit is coming out about Sandra Bland too. I'm sorry I got loud, but that's some motherfucking bullshit. And y'all know y'all should have convicted that motherfucker a long motherfucking time ago. But you know what? That's neither here nor there. You doing it now, so it is what it is. I'll be quiet. Y'all better finish what the fuck y'all just started too. I'm so sad that that woman went through that shit that she went through, because that was so fucking unnecessary. And you could tell they was planning for her to come where she was going. You know, another time, another video. Hashtag bring back our girls. That's when Boko Haram had kidnapped those hundreds of black girls and went and bring them back. A woman in London had started that hashtag, black woman in London, African, you know, woman. You guys know what I mean. And it had made its way to the White House when the Obamas were in office, and Michelle Obama, you know, brought that to the attention of the African American women. And so we keep using that. And they still haven't brought back our girls, yo. And then on top of that, you know, all these black women that are missing in America, like, what the fuck is going on? Where are our women going, yo? Where are they? Hashtag, I'm gonna mispronounce this because this is not in English, but Mao Primiero Asidio. And the translation is, this is my first harassment. And it so sucks that it has to be a first. That means that there's more than one. I have been sexually abused multiple times throughout my life, and when I open up that floodgate to women in my family, I hear about their multitude of sexual abuses. So it is not abnormal for thousands of women to come out and say, hey, hashtag me too. Because it happens. It's happening every day, at every second, every moment. Was it an hour or a day? 3 women are sexually assaulted, and the majority of those women is a woman of color, which is, it makes sense. Hashtag AfriFem, hashtag Caster, hashtag 147 not just a number, hashtag being female in Nigeria, hashtag roads must fall, and they spell roads RHODES, so roads must fall, hashtag disability so white. I love that an African American disabled woman has started that hashtag, because when you do think of disabled people, you do think of white people. You know, most of these programs I see mostly white people in, and maybe a black person here or there. I work in, direct care, and I think there's, I don't want to lie to you, 4, 8, 11. Okay, so there's 11 residents. Only 2 of them are black. And, that's just a small, representation. But, the face of disability is a white boy or a white girl. So this black woman was, changing the face of disability. And I love that. And she also does, I don't know what the hashtag is, but just basically showing that, black women who are disabled, have, mental, psychological disabilities, are still beautiful and still should be valued, and shouldn't be seen as like, we look at them, we be like, oh, like, don't do that. They are people, they are adults. They know shit. They just, they have a little, we all do. Hashtag rape culture is when ... because obviously black women have to explain what the fuck rape culture is and what it means to be harassed, and what we mean when we say black patriarchy, because we're not talking about black men, we're talking about black patriarchy, which are 2 different things. So if you identify with black patriarchy and you coincide that with black men, that's on you. I don't feel the need to explain that shit. But anyway, unfortunately we do. Hashtag free Marissa, hashtag Renisha McBride, that's RENISHA McBride. Then we have hashtag Sandra Bland, of course, hashtag girls like us, hashtag black girls are magic. I use black girl magic, but this is a famous hashtag too. Hashtag pretty period, hashtag pretty period, because I'm tired of people, oh, you're pretty for a light skin girl, oh, you're pretty for a big girl, oh, you're pretty for a black girl, oh, you're pretty for a girl with dreads, oh, you're pretty for a girl with kids. Nah, no more, no, none of that. We just pretty, that's it. Pretty period. Hashtag to the girls, hashtag F your beauty standards. And I don't think that should just go to Europeans. I think that should go to the black man too, because I feel like there's entirely too much emphasis on how a black woman should look to a black man. Because if we want to wear our hair in different colors and different styles and different textures, we can do that, because that's what we have done since the beginning of time, even when we were in our home country, in our homeland. So to sit there and try to deny us of our creativity and our artistic abilities, when you sit here and you look at the hieroglyphs and how the women were beautifully done up, trash. I shouldn't have to explain that, but unfortunately we do. Hashtag Friday Night Horror and hashtag Coming to America. Coming to America, like I said, was like the first like streaming watch thing, and hashtag Friday Night Horror is kind of like including black women into like the horror scene, which is amazing. My first time being introduced to black women in horror, I forget the example that she gave. Oh, she gave the example of, I forget her name, but the black girl that was in a Craft, she's also in One-on-One, which I love her too. And right now she does tarot card reading, and I have to meet her because I love tarot cards now, and I would love for her to give me my tarot card reading. She queen. But the one that I remember the most is Brandy, and I think it was I Still Know What You Did Last Summer or something. I loved Brandy when I was a kid. My little sister loved Brandy when she was a kid, because my little sister, she's a chocolate. She's chocolate. She's beautiful. And, I think Brandy was that image for her. I think, I don't know, I can't speak for her experience, but she did love Brandy when we were younger. And I also wrote down, I probably missed some women, but I wrote down many women that were mentioned, and also men that were mentioned, and I just want to read off their names and a couple of their accolades. We're going to start off with Queen Latifah, who is a rapper, singer, songwriter, actress, producer, and talk show host. And if anybody is following Queen Latifah right now, she's starting a housing development in Newark, New Jersey. And I am here for it, Queen. Get that shit. But she is known for her music that uplifts and empowers black women in the black community. I appreciate her for that. We need more Queen Latifahs in the world. We do. We got Rhapsody. I love her. Anyway, you got Salt and Pepper. And they're rappers, actors, songwriters, and duo. And they also have their own vlogs and stuff like that. And I recall one of them, I want to say it was Salt. She was a victim of domestic violence. And so she became an advocate for that. TLC, which is a black female girl group. They're singers, songwriters, dancers, performers, actresses, all the above. I believe T-Boz speaks out against domestic abuse as well. Then you have Chili, who deals with her illnesses as a black woman. And then you have Lisa Left Eye Lopez, who I absolutely adored when I was younger, who of course is who can be in conjunction with Dr. Sebi and following his, you know, his diet plan and his way of life. And she tried to emulate that in her and try to project that into the world. And she is a queen for that. All three of them are queens for things that they contribute to the black women. And then sometimes it's just like, you know, I know people don't want to give black artists and black actresses and, you know, rappers and such that credit for just being that. They have to be an activist. They have to, no, give them credit for being just that, because it takes a lot in that alone to overcome the business, the corporation that tries to dilute the art and dilute the message in the art. Like, could you imagine the things that Queen Latifah had to go through to say the things that she wanted to say the way she wanted to say them? But then again, in the same note, that when she was signed with Tommy Boy, so was De La Soul. I wonder what her contract was like. 'Cause I heard De La Soul's contract was trash. I don't know. Anyway, moving on. We got Alice Walker, who I love. She is a black novelist, short story writer, poet, activist. She is known for The Color Purple. She has other literature books called Everyday Use and another one called Processing the Secret of Joy. I think I'm going to try to read the Processing the Secret of Joy. The title just resonates with me. My sister is obsessed with The Color Purple. She knows all the words. As a young girl, she watched the movie over and over again. For the ones that were watching her, it was weird. But now we have, yeah, I fucks with it. Moving forward, you have Maxine Hong Kingston. She is a Chinese American author, professor, advocate for Chinese Americans. She has written books called The Woman Warrior, Chinaman, and The Fifth Book of Peace. Why did I mention her? Because black feminism includes all women, not just black women. And her name is in the book, so get over yourself. Moving forward, you have Angela Davis, who I love. She's an African-American communist, political activist, academic, author, Black Panther Party, aimed at ending the prison industrial complex. She wrote autobiography. She also wrote Women, Race, and Class. She also wrote Women, Culture, and Politics, and Are Prisons Obsolete? I think Are Prisons Obsolete would be my next one that I do. Then you have Tamara Dobson, who was the actress. She played in the blaxploitation films as Cleopatra Jones with her beautiful self. Then you have Gloria Steinem. She's an American writer, lecturer, political activist, feminist organizer. She touches on sex and race, caste systems, gender roles, and child abuse. And she is a Caucasian woman, and it's okay because she does touch race, and I think that's why her name was even brought up. And then you have my personal favorite. She is one of my ancestors in my mind. Sojourner Truth. When I was younger, I wrote about her poem, Ain't I a Woman? Not poem, her literature. Anyway, she's an abolitionist. She was here for the women's rights. She was a slave and then she escaped. And she was the first black woman to win a court case. I believe she had a baby and she escaped with her baby and then she tried to come back and get her other child. You have Audre Lorde. She's a black writer, feminist, librarian, poet. She has written The Sister Outsider, the Cancer Journals, and The Black Unicorn. Then you have Florence Kennedy. She's a lawyer, feminist, civil rights advocate, lecturer, and activist. Then you have Missy Elliott. I'm so proud for Missy. Like, girl, you better go ahead and get that honorary degree. I have, my own feeling about skating because, I went to college, I put in the work, and I didn't finish. But, I have my own little thing about that or whatever. But putting my personal thing to the side, I always want to see people win, and especially a black woman. You better get that shit, Missy. Anyway, moving forward. She is a African-American rapper, singer, songwriter, dancer, and record producer. She was just out here at the Something in the Water event. She is very well known in Portsmouth, Virginia, which is her hometown. She does a lot of work there. I believe it was a motion to have a statue out there put out for her. I don't know if she's still in the works of doing her documentary, but not a documentary, her own life story on film. But I know that there was talking about her story. Did it come out already yet? Did I miss it? Did I overlook that? I don't know. I'm going to look into that. Michelle Wallace, who is a African-American feminist author, a cultural critic. She wrote The Black Macho and the Myth of the Superwoman. I want to read that too. I hate being a strong black woman. I feel like that word strong need to go away because it has a negative connotation where it allows other people to think they can rely on us and do anything to us and we could take it because we're a strong black woman and we're supposed to be quiet and we're not supposed to complain and we're not supposed to do anything or say anything. We're supposed to let things be, and that could not be further from the truth. And that's why you have PTSD among black women as such a strong way that it is to where we are seen as angry and bitter and strong. I don't like that shit. Anyway, you have Patricia Hill Collins. She's an African-American university professor of sociology. She has written the Black Feminist Thought, Black Sexual Politics, Intersectionality, and Another Kind of Public Education. You have Amy Garvey. She's an African American. She was the second wife of Marcus Garvey. She was a journalist, an activist, and she pioneered black women journalism and publishers. Then you have I have the at to their Twitter, and it's at the Trudz, Trudz, and this person is a creator, photographer, author, curator, and social critic, and this person is known for starting the streaming on Twitter with the Coming to America film. Then you have Kimberly Crenshaw, African American civil rights advocate, scholar of critical race theory, professor in law school focusing on race and gender issues, and she has written a book called African American Policy Forum. So it's awesome. We need more black women in law. I was just talking to my cousin last night about that, about more black women being police officers and things like that. It's a double-edged sword because I feel like the police force should be like eradicated altogether because it was created on negative terms. It has been maintained on negative terms. You can't turn the tool of the oppressor into a tool to defeat the oppressor. You know what I mean? And I'm on two sides because I have multiple ancestors within me. So a part of me be like, fuck that. But another part of me be like, well, the tool of the white man was always infiltration. And if you think about Sun Tzu, The Art of War, infiltration is a really good war tactic. And they have done it time and time again, which is why you see a lot of black leaders being shot by black people. But who was that black person hired by? Let's think about it and let's talk about it and let's do about it. You know what I'm talking about? But, that's my own conspiracy theory that don't nobody like to admit to. But you got some out there that's like, she right. I know. Anyway, moving forward, you got you got Shalane McCroy, who is an African American writer, editor, communications professional, and political figure. She's the first lady of NYC because she is the wife of de Blasio. She launched Thrive NYC for mental health and substance abuse, and she is trying to run. I would love to see NYC being ran by a black woman. Let's do it. Anyway, Ida B. Wells, African American investigative journalist, educator, civil rights activist, a co-founder of NAACP, and she led the anti-lynching crusade. Mary Church Terrell is the first African American woman to earn a college degree, and she is a national activist for civil rights and suffrage. because we out here doing big things, big things. I have a lot of names here. So, Barbara Smith, African American feminist, socialist activist since 1970. She is the author and teacher. She has written The Truth That Never Hurts and more ghost stories. She writes a lot of ghost stories. This is the horror books. Me and my cousins and my sister, just me and my sisters, we're doing a collection of horror stories together, and I'm really excited about that. You also have her twin sister, Beverly Smith, who is also an African American feminist, activist, writer, teacher, and you had Demita Frazier, who is a black feminist, writer, teacher, and activist and mentor, and they're part of the Combahee River Collection community, which is a black feminist community. You have Anna Julia Cooper, who is a black author, educator, sociologist, speaker, activist. She was born in 1858 and she passed in 1964, and she was the first to receive a PhD. You have Gwendolyn Bennett. She was a black artist, writer, journalist. She wrote a journal of Negro life, and she was around during the Harlem Renaissance. Oh, and she also wrote To a Dark Girl. Then you have Jessie Redmond Fawcett, an African American editor, poet, essayist, novelist, educator, in the 1920s. This person has wrote Plum Bun and There Is Confusion. You also have Josephine Baker, the Queen. She is a black American born French. Oh, so she was born in France and she came to America. And she was an entertainer, activist, a French resistance agent. Ma Rainey, an African American blues singer, first generation to record. She did a Blame It on the Blues and Mother. Bessie Smith is also a black blues singer, and she is known for Empress, and she was actually what do you call it, an apprentice to Ma Rainey. Lil' Kim, African American rapper, singer, songwriter, model, actress, LGBT advocate, also helps raise money for AIDS, breast cancer. She's definitely a philanthropist. Nicki Minaj, she's Trinidadian. She's a rapper, singer, songwriter, actress, model, philanthropist. She does a lot of work. She gives scholarships to people. She has donated money to build homes, and she just does a lot. And I know a lot of people don't want to give black female rappers credit because of the way they dress and their lyrics and the way they carry themselves and stuff like that. But these black women take their money and they're helping black families, and they're doing big things in the black community. I don't think I know any black woman that is a mainstream artist that is not an activist in some sort of way, shape, or form. I can't say that about all black men though. But you know what? That's me and my reality. I'm pretty sure someone is going to go above and beyond to debunk what the fuck I just said. And you probably will be right. So if you want to go through the efforts to try to debunk what I said, prove me wrong. Because I would love to be proven wrong. I like being proven wrong sometimes. Sonia Sanchez is an African American poet, educator, columnist, dramatist, essayist. She's into the black arts movement. She has written Morning Haiku, I've Been a Woman, as well as Shake Loose My Skin. Dr. Meredith Clark is an African American journalist, activist, professor, and researcher. Mickey Kendall is a feminist writer, and she focuses on food insecurity, police brutality, gender roles. She's also a novelist. She's known for hashtag Solidarity is for White Women, and she is known for Tales of a Hood Feminist. Sadette Harry is an African American woman. She's a writer, editor, tech, and media critic, and she's known for the Coral Project. Tarana Burke is an African American civil rights activist. She is known for the hashtag Me Too movement and writing and doing Surviving R. Kelly, which, you know what, that's for another day, man, because the things that we allow in our community just so we don't tell on a black man is ridiculous. We do need to police ourselves, though. That is not to say that, oh yeah, we need to send our black men to these private owned prisons owned by these white corporations so that they can utilize our men as slaves and, misjudge them and give them long sentences for silly things. No, that's not what I'm saying. We do need to learn how to police ourselves, and we do need to start our own jails, because whether we want to admit it or not all black people are good people. But if we have our own police force and we have our own jails, we can chastise each other accordingly, and we know we would do a nicer job than those who love and enjoy oppressing us and torturing us. And that is true. It is true. And look at history books and you will see through history that there has been an enjoyment in torturing black people. Anyway, moving forward. Mia McKenzie, an African-American writer, activist, founder of Black Girl Dangerous. Janet Jackson is an African-American singer, songwriter, actress, dancer, pop icon, and she has written a book called True You, which is a self-help book. Beverly Gooden is an African-American social activist. She fights for domestic violence, victimology, and women's health, and she started the hashtag Why I Stayed. Then you have Eve, who is an African-American singer, songwriter, and actress, and in the book she is identified as the woman who wrote the song Love is Blind, which is a song I love, and it sheds light on domestic violence, and it does shed light on why a woman would stay, in a sense, despite, a best friend telling you, hey, this nigga is retarded. Then you have Patrice Cullors, who is a black artist, activist, advocate for prison abolition, and the co-founder of B4N. Oh, Black Lives Matter. I'm sorry, my handwriting crazy. And she wrote when they call you a terrorist. Yeah. Then you have Alicia Garza, who is an African-American civil rights activist, educational writer, advocate for health, student services, police brutality, racism, and LGBTQ. Then you have Opal Tometi, who is a Nigerian American human rights activist, writer, strategist, community organizer, Black Lives Matter movement, and Alliance for Just Immigrants. DeRay McKesson is an African-American male civil rights activist, podcaster for protester show Stay Woke, the BLM movement. So check that podcast out. Again, it's called Stay Woke, the BLM movement. And that's by DeRay McKesson. Brittany Packnett, Vice President of National Community Alliances for Tech for America, co-founder of Campaign Zero, educator, writer, organizer, and she is known for We Are Like Those Who Dream with One World. Samuel Sinyangwe is an American policy analysis and racial justice activist. He has helped with the BLM movement. He is a co-founder of We the Protesters and Campaign Zero, and has started a podcast called Save the People? Something like that. My handwriting got crazy. I was doing all this research in like the middle of the night, and just after a while you could tell I was getting real tired. Sherelle Brown is an African American organizer on issues around police violence and gender violence, and working on police accountability and environmental justice. She linked U.S. activists with activists in Palestine. Big things. Bree Newsom, an African-American filmmaker, musician, speaker, activist, she's the one who removed the Confederate flag from the South Carolina State House grounds. Big things. Sandra Bland, I know we talk about her death a lot. Let's spread light on her life, because she was an African-American with a degree in agriculture, and she was an activist against police brutality. And she was a member and an active member of the Black Lives Matter movement. Let's not lose sight of the things that she has done because she has died. Black people, we do that. We do that. I do that. I have done that, and I'm trying to be accountable for the things that I have done. We need to stop focusing on death all the time and focus on the life and the message that they sent through their lives. We do that with our religious people. We do that with Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Marcus Garvey, Bob Marley, Haile Selassie. We focus on their death, We focus on Nipsey's Hussle's death and how he died and how it's fucked up and stuff. In fact, we're doing better with Nipsey Hussle. We're keeping that alive. The marathon is definitely continuing, and I love it. We're doing big things. I'm happy for my black men, and I'm happy for my black women. We kings and queens out here. I fucking love it. Moving forward, Andrea Ritchie is a writer, lawyer, activist for women of color, the LGBTQ women of color, and people who have been victims of police violence, the LGBTQ community who have been victims of police violence, which is sickening. As police officers, your job is to protect and serve. You are a public servant, and carry yourself as such. Come on now, you stop letting your ego get in the way because you put on a belt. Like, you have 15 weapons around your belt. You have on padding. You have training. You have all those things, but you walk around scared and bullying people. Stop being bullies. Like, why are you bullying people of the LGBTQ community? Why are you bothering them? They're not bothering you. They're living their best lives. Leave them alone. Anyway, she co-authored #Say Her Name, and she has written Invisible No More and Queer Injustice, which is trash. Leave people alone. Malcolm X. He is an African American Muslim minister and human rights activist and civil rights activist. And in the book, he is praised for his ever famous, everlasting, ever truthful, and so sad to say statement that the most disrespected person in the world is the black woman. And ain't no lie in any of those letters that made those words that put together made that sentence. Then you have Obiageli Ezekwesili. I don't know if I pronounced that right. I hope I did, because I tried. She is a Nigerian chartered accountant. She founded Transparency International, which helps hold accountability to government and police brutality, and it's based in Berlin. Michelle Obama, the goddess out here, that she is a African American lawyer, a university administrator, and writer, and she was the most imitated first lady, the most classy first lady, the sexiest first lady. She was all of that, the most educated first lady, and I'm saying all facts. The most healthy first lady, the most active first lady. She was all of that, and I'm so sad that even black people have broken her down, just tried to destroy her image. You know what? I'm not even going to give energy to even imitate the ignorant things they have said about the Obama family. She deserves to be president because she does. And you know what? Y'all drugged that family through the mud so terribly that she don't even want to do it. And it sucks. It's crazy the bridges you burn, because that would have been a beautiful bridge to be made. Anyway, she has written American Grown, and her newest book is Becoming. Caster Semenya is a South Africa middle distance runner. Oh yeah, she's the South African distance runner, and she won this 2016 gold Olympic medalist. And yo, they be coming at her, trying to make her do piss tests and stuff all the time because her body naturally produces a lot of testosterone. So they're trying to say like, oh, she needs to take pills to suppress her testosterone. It's not fair to the other girls. Fuck them, girl. Be great, yo. Be great, because you know what? You are Superwoman. You are literally Superwoman or Storm, whichever one you want to be, girl. But that's who you are. That is your superpower. Wear that shit. Kia Brown, African American writer, journalist, writer. She has written The Pretty One, and she started the hashtag Disabled and Cute. Tara L. Conley, the African American assistant she's an African American assistant professor in School of Communication and Media at Montclair University. She's a researcher on race, feminism, digital cultures, and storytelling. Dr. Ashton T. Crawley is an assistant professor of religious studies, African American and African studies at University of Virginia, and he has written Black Pentecostal Breath. Big things, my king. Big things. Lauren Michelle Jackson, PhD candidate in the Department of English, Language, and Literature and has written White Negroes when cornrows were in vogue. I have to read that because that is interesting to me, because I cannot stand the gentrification of black culture. I am tired of it. I'm so tired of what they're doing in New Jersey. New Jersey is my home state, and I live in Virginia now because the gentrification, I couldn't afford it. Like, you know, they won in my reality. Y'all won. Y'all can have that little $1,600 one bedroom. I don't want it no more. Y'all got it. I'm good. And I'm mad because my family is still there, and I call my family, talk to my family, everybody's struggling in their own way, and it's just like, yo, like, they fix up the houses in these neighborhoods. And this is one of my beefs with, like, Newark a little bit, and, like, one of the presidential candidates, I won't, you know, whatever, is like, yo, like, I understand that the intention was to make the town better, make the cities better, the inner cities better and stuff like that. But while doing that, did y'all forget that the black people, that the minimum wage there is like $10 an hour? Like, what is this $1,600 in rent? Like, what the fuck is that? What are y'all doing right now? Did y'all forget that? And because that's the minimum wage, that's what most companies are trying to pay. They're not paying $1,500, $1,600 an hour, because the only jobs that pay like $15, $16 an hour are like the call. There's a call center out in Elizabeth that pays like $18 an hour, and then all those taxing ass warehouse jobs that want to take all your time and have these crazy ass 10-12 hour schedules on these crazy ass days of the week. They work you. They're constantly up in the production. I used to work for a major company warehouse, and like, it was so ridiculous how they treat you. Like, you are a slave, and money don't exist. So to sit there and do all that work and come home unhappy and tired and not even have energy for your kids or to invest in yourself and stuff, that shit is trash. That shit is not worth no $16 an hour. So y'all offer these people these jobs, but then they have to give up their souls, and then if they want to keep their soul, they make it $10 an hour, and they barely making it because y'all raising the housing. And then with the raising that housing, the goods and the products and stuff, well, actually, they don't even go hand in hand, because y'all gonna raise products regardless of the minimum wage raising. Like, let's stop that myth right now, because every year my rent goes up regardless of what the fuck I make and don't make. Minimum wage don't go up. My rent go up every year though. Like, come on, man. Like, stop playing with me. Stop letting these people play with y'all and play with y'all brain to where y'all like just accept any old fucking thing, because that's trash. Where was I at? Because I just got mad. Xavier Deloe is a digital content creator, blogger, and social commentator. He is known for the Two Guys and a Girl podcast. Ashley Blackwell is a writer, producer known for the horror noir, a history of black horror. She's creator of the Graveyard Shift Sisters. Jamie Broadnax is a film critic, podcaster, writer, founder, editor, and chief of CEO of Black Nerd Girls Community. You know what? I know that's right. She is the writer. She's the founder, editor, and chief, and CEO. That's what the fuck I'm talking about. Rachel True is an actress and model. This is the actress that was in The Craft and Half and Half-Baked, and now she's a tarot card reader, and I think that's love. And she did bring that underrepresented black woman on screen, because that nerd black girl, that black girl that loves witchcraft, that black girl that's into that divine power and things, that black girl was not represented on TV. And I'm glad she brought that. Oprah Winfrey is an African American media executive, actress, talk show host, producer, philanthropist. She does so much for the community. Like, I can't even list everything that queen do. She is God. She is God. If you ever wanted to know who was the God among humans before you get to the next levels of deities and gods, it's Oprah. Oprah is the God on this physical realm, and then we can go up further and talk about our ancestors, and go up further and talk about the angels, and go up further and we can get to the one supreme God at the top. But yeah, Oprah, she down here with us, and she's God, and I ain't even mad. She's the most influential woman in the world. I don't agree with everything she do. I don't agree with everything she say, but she is who she is, and I respect her, and I love her. Eddie Murphy, he started the Yeah Foundation, which helps homeless people and provides scholarships and supports the MLK Jr. Center for Nonviolent Social Change. And he also started movements for AIDS and cancer. So big up to Eddie Murphy, and I love his movies, and I love his messages through his comedy and stuff. Like, he's funny and he's great, but like the message is always there. I appreciate Eddie Murphy for what he does. Shonda Rhimes, she's an African American TV producer. She's in TV, film. She's a writer. She's an author. She supported the Smithsonian. She gives millions of dollars to the Smithsonian African American Museum out in DC, like, regularly, and she also is definitely in support of black arts and equality. Rhapsody, I love. You know what? I support all black rappers: Cardi B, Nicki Minaj, Lil Kim, Jungle Pussy, City Girls, Lizzo. Is Lizzo considered a rapper? I love her still, though. I support all of them. I would like to see more representation of the black woman that talks about social issues. I would like to see more representation of Rhapsody and Jean Grey and those kind of rappers. But Jungle Pussy is a great medium. I fucks with her. But anyway, she's an African American rapper and songwriter. And then Kerry Washington, she's an African American actress and activist for domestic violence. And then you have Jungle Pussy. She's an African American rapper and actress, and when she does her interviews and then her music, she does talk about eating healthy and take care of your body and, you know, things like that. Ori Okolo is a Kenyan activist, lawyer, blogger, and director of investments at the Omidyar Network, and was a policy manager for Africa with Google. And she stands to increase government accountability. She created a site that records reports of violence and it's called Ushahidi, and it monitors elections and tracks pharmaceutical availability. And she has a blog called The Kenyan Pundit. So those are all the people that were mentioned. I didn't list all of them. Some of them didn't deserve my energy. I probably missed some. This was a great book. I only read the first 3 chapters. By sometime next week, I want to say like next Tuesday or Wednesday, I should have the next 3 chapters read and another vlog up here for that. Salute to all my black women. I want to end on this note, and I need my phone for this, so please don't judge me. I meant to write this stuff down last night and I like completely forgot, but I want to put my black women in my life on blast because I have a lot of them. First off, I want to give a blast to my cousin, Lady Rest. If anybody needs t-shirts made, she makes beautiful t-shirts. She makes jean jackets. She's very creative. If you guys, need stuff for your business or family reunion t-shirts and stuff like that, they're good quality shirts. If you go on Instagram, you can follow her at Lady, LADYRESS 88. She's on Instagram. Definitely check her out. She's doing big things. My little sister Carla, she does makeup and hair. I'm trying to find her Instagram page so I could tell y'all what it is. Okay. It's she does makeup and she does hair and she does a great job and she's beautiful, and her page is, dang, that's not even the page. Her Instagram is at Beat by Barla, Hair by Carla. That's her Instagram page, Beat by Barla, Hair by Carla. And she'll do your makeup and your hair, and she'll hook you up, and you'll be looking right. And she's in the New Jersey area. For my people that live in the New Jersey area, she'll definitely hook you up. Who else do I have? Oh, my cousin, Q Rose. She out here doing big things. She has a poetry page. It's called Q Rose Poetry. Definitely hit that up. She writes some beautiful things. I love it. And then she also has a page. She has her own podcast, and it's called F the Crown Fits. And you can find that on SoundCloud. It's called F the Crown Fits. That's her podcast. Who else? Am I forgetting anybody? Let me think, because I don't want nobody gross me out. Oh, my cousin Tara. Let me tell y'all. So my cousin Tara, she's into paparazzi jewelry, but she also does vacations. If you guys, want to go somewhere and stuff, she also does vacation. And her Instagram is Diva underscore TS underscore jewelry. And she spells jewelry JEWERLY. So it's jewelry. And she yeah, I like the paparazzi jewelry. Don't sleep on the paparazzi jewelry, people, because everybody has their own kind of jewelry. There's a woman, I did swag bags for small businesses, and there's a woman named Carlina Porter. You can find her on Facebook, and she also does paparazzi jewelry, and her jewelry is beautiful. Who else? I think that's all I have, and that's all I could think of for now. My homegirl, Monet. She has a Instagram page too, and it is Zaina Monet, ZAINAMONET, Zaina Monet, and she is the bead god. So if you type in bead god, GAWD, you can find her. She makes beaded bracelets, and they're $5 each. She's the best. And who am I missing? Me. I am the owner, creator. I am a writer. I am now a vlogger. This is new for me. I am a book commentator. I just wrote my first children's book. It's called Show and Tell. I am working with a black female-owned publishing company right now to publish my children's book. It's about children going to the front of the class and talking about their culture, and I research cultures all over the world, not just black culture, and they're sharing similarities and stuff. It's a great children's book. I'm also working on a couple of different chapter books. I have this vlog. I have my my gemstone and my organized jewelry. If you ain't noticed, I make these are made to order. This is lapis, and this provides it helps with communication, which is probably why I'm like talking so much now. And my matching necklace that keeps sliding down because I won't put it on all the way. All that fun stuff, and I'm just here for the empowerment and love. Please provide feedback. Let me know what you think. I'll be back next Wednesday, give y'all more information. Check out my other vlogs about the other books I've read. Girl Stop Apologizing, Children of Blood and Bone, and Metu Netter. I think it's just 3 so far in this one now. So yeah, I love you guys, and I hope y'all have a great one.